Hello everyone, welcome to I'll Be Sewing. My name is Gina, and today I'm going to be showing how to make this little bag here. As you see, is a tiny little bag, has a handle here. In here you can put your cell phone or a wallet or something, and this bag is intended to when you go out with your dog and you have your little bags to pick up their stuff. So it's like that, has a little part here as you see, and then the little roll of bags go in here on this pocket, and they pop through here, and you put a little bit through here, and then you can pull them through there. It has a zipper so you can keep that closed in. Has another little pocket here that you can keep some dog treats. And this is it. It's a simple bag, it's a simple project, it's very small, but I think it's useful. So when you go for a walk, if you want to keep your keys also, you can put it in here. So you're not like trying to grab the phone and keys, and then, you know, sometimes they sell those tiny little things that doesn't fit much. However, after I finish this one, I decided that on the next one, I'm going to add a little piece here that if you want to put it in your pants, in your belt, you can use this in your belt. And in your waist, so your hands free to hold the leash and stuff. But if not, you can definitely put this in your arm and you can hold the leash and have all your stuff here. Okay, so let's get started with materials. So you can use on this, you can use a lot of little scraps that you have sitting around. As you see, they're very little pieces of fabric, doesn't have very much. So you can use all the scraps you have sitting around. It's a great project to do that. So for our this little bag, we're gonna need a strap, this strap here, and the strap I already have it here cut out. So the piece that I have here for the strap is 14 inches by 2 inches wide. So it's 14 inches long and it's 2 inches wide. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna take to the iron, fold it in half, half, this way. And before you sew this, you're going to get your the hook and D-ring that you have here, and you're going to open that. Okay, we're going to save the little D-ring for now here. And this one here, before you go sew it, what are you going to do? You're going to go ahead and put this in. Okay, and you're going to go ahead and join these two ends, like that. So you're going to go ahead and sew across here. I'm just going to put a pin just to show you. So you're going to sew across here like that. And then after it's sewed, then you're going to fold it like we said, like fold it in half and in a half and fold like that. And then of course with this sewed, let me see if so with this when it's sewed, it's going to end up like this. You open that seam and you sew this all the way around like that. So, and then you keep moving this on the sewing machine as you're sewing it. I can show you afterwards. I can definitely show you how I do it. But normally it is, so you're going to go ahead and join these two here with this in it. And then we're going to sew all the way around, fold the fabric, and then sew it the way I showed you, like that. Okay, so that's to make this. Then we have this tiny little one here. That's the same thing. So the piece that I have here is 4 inches by 2. Again, you fold it in half, half and half, like that way. And you're going to go ahead and sew this over here. And then you're going to put your D-ring, your small little D-ring in after it's sewed. And you're going to put that to the side. So these pieces, you're going to sew it and leave it to the side. Then for the body, front and back, so I have two pieces here. I'm using the same colors, so I have front and back, and the pieces that I have here is 2 pieces of 6 by 8, so 6 inches by 8 long, and I already fused Fusible Fleece to the wrong size of those 2 pieces, so you're also going to need 2 pieces of Fusible Fleece the same measurement. Okay, so that's front and back. Then we have this pocket here that we have here, this pocket. I have here my pieces. And for the pocket, I need two pieces, one lining and one outside. That's going to be 7.5, so 7.5 by 5.5, so 7.5 by 5.5. The front piece, you're gonna also fuse a piece, a fusible fleece to the back, and the lining doesn't need anything, so you're just gonna leave it like that. So those two pieces. Then for the other side of the pocket, the other side here, we're gonna need two pieces again, and these pieces are it's gonna be 6 by 5.5, so 6 inches, so because it has to be the same size as this, by 5.5, the same length of that. These are only 7.5 because, as you see, they have two little pleats here just to give it a little more volume, so when you put things in it, it will fit nicer. All right. Then we're gonna need some zipper tape that I have here. I only have one side, it's just zipper tape. You can use a regular zipper if you prefer. I'm just using zipper tape. And a zipper pull. I have one here. Then for this little pocket, I have one zipper here, and this zipper is 5 inches. Then I'm gonna need to do two little tabs, one in each side. So I have two pieces that's 2 by 4, so it's 2 inches by 4 length that we're gonna do the zipper tabs. Then I have here a handmade tag. I have some of these on the website if you're looking for them. It's a handmade. This one is slightly different, but on this one I'm gonna add this one here, handmade tag. I have my grommet. I have a grommet here. That's what I'm gonna touch here. And a magnetic snap. The magnetic snap, you can definitely use Velcro or even one of those plastic snaps. Doesn't have to be a magnetic snap. You just, I have them around, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. So let's get started with sewing. First thing, like I said, we're gonna start preparing is the handle. So as I said, we're gonna have to sew these two pieces after they're folded, and then after they're folded, they're gonna go here, and you're gonna leave to the side. This one, you have this folded like this you did on the iron, like that. You're gonna go ahead and open this, open all the way. Sew this first, then you're gonna refold it, and let me just go ahead and show you. Just gonna use a little seam, so it probably will be easier if I show you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sew this. So I joined them like that. I'm gonna open my seam like that. Then you're gonna fold it in half like I told you to do in the iron, in half like that. And then middle, middle, and middle. And this part is already finished. As you see, after I fold that in, see, I end up with something like this already. So all I have to do is take this to the machine, and I'm gonna keep sewing here like that and keep moving this part as I'm sewing, okay, to finish that. So that's that part. Now we're gonna prepare is our pocket, this pocket, the outside pocket. So you're gonna get the piece that's 7.5 by 5.5, and we're gonna need to do some markings. So I'm gonna get my ruler, and I'm gonna go, let's see, 1.5, you're gonna do a marking, and then a 1/2 inch from the marking. So I have 1.5 this way, then a 1/2 inch. Then we're gonna do the same to the other side. So let's see. So I have the same thing. So I have 1.5 and then a 1/2 inch from there, okay, into there. So from here to here would be 2 inches. From here to here is 1.5, 2 inches, 1.5. You're gonna do the same in the bottom. So you're gonna go 1.5 and then the 2. And do the same thing here. That's 2 and 1.5. So you should check they should match if you had to draw lines, but we don't need to draw lines. This is just more for reference. So we have here our marking. So then what I want you to do, you're gonna go ahead and bring that one, the outside one, into here, into the next one here. So folding about 1/4 of an inch in the back, like that. And we're gonna put a pin. Okay, you're gonna go ahead, bring it in, this line, the first line, the 1.5 to the 2-inch line. Gonna go like that, and you have about 1/4 of an inch folded. Do the same thing here to the bottom. Okay, so you have something like this. You can check this piece if it's the same size as this one here. If not, you can fold a little bit more in, a tiny little bit more in. So this should be the same size as your outside. Okay, so if it's not, you can always adjust a little bit, or you can trim it. You can always trim it. Then you have to do the same thing to the lining. So I have my lining here, and instead of doing the 1.5, I'm gonna do something different because I don't want my pleats to end up on the same spot. I want this to have the same volume inside so it moves together, but I don't want the pleats to end up here because then you have too much bulk, because we have to sew this around the zipper. So what I'm gonna go on this one is I'm gonna go 3 inches. So 3 inches, and then 1/2 inch. Okay, and then I'm gonna go 3 inches and then 1/2 inch. So they end up more in the middle, slightly more in the middle. Again, down here, 3 inches and 1/2 inch. 3 inches and 1/2 inch. So now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna fold that to there. Check, make sure they're the same size. Okay, so after you've done that, what I want you to do, I want you to go to the sewing machine, and you're gonna secure these little pleats. So you're gonna sew a little bit here, a little bit here, 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 all of them, a little bit in all of them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew these and finish these, and I'll be right back. So I secured those there, as you see, there and there and there, and those there, and I also finished sewing this, so these are ready to go in the bag. So now I need to add my zipper to this part here. So I'm first, before I attach my zipper, I gotta prepare my zipper here. So I have my 5-inch zipper, as you see, slightly shorter than that, and I need to add zipper tabs to the edges. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this little piece that was 2x4, and I'm gonna go ahead and go like this. See, zipper, this part right side down, and I'm gonna fold it in half like that. You know, just bring that right to the middle with the zipper in between, and I'm gonna go ahead and sew across. So I'm gonna sew here, just this part here. I'm gonna get the other one, we're gonna do the same thing. And that right in the middle, gonna go ahead and sew that across. Okay, I sewed it. So then I'm gonna go ahead and push this way. And I can go ahead and trim this to the size of the zipper tape. This is still gonna be long, but I wouldn't worry about it. We're gonna trim it to the size here. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim to the zipper tape. Okay, like that. So now I have to find my middle here. I'm gonna fold this here to this here and find the middle, mark it, and I'm also taking in consideration where I sew these. Okay, so I'm putting those together to find the middle. So I have the middle there. Now I have to find my middle of the zipper. In zippers, like, I'm gonna go ahead and fold this, and I'm gonna put these two parts here together, and I'm gonna go here and find the middle. I do not want to clip this because zippers, these zipper tapes are done like a knit, and if you clip that, you have more of a chance of the zipper eventually fall apart on you. So you don't want to clip it. You want to mark it with a pin or something, but don't clip it. Okay, I see sometimes people clip it, but then later on with wear and tear, you have a good chance that that zipper will fall apart. So you never want that chance. So I'm gonna mark both ends. Middle. Okay, so after I've done that, I have my middle found. I'm gonna move my zipper to this side, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that middle to the middle here. You see, this is extra, but it's okay, we'll trim it after. It's no big deal. Okay, it's longer. So you're gonna go ahead and find the middle here and pin it. Okay, and I'm gonna also find my middle here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it here on top. See, there's the middle. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and sew this across. So I'm gonna be sewing these with the zipper in between. Okay, and I'll show you in a minute. All sewed. Turn it to this side. You're gonna go ahead, we can trim this extra piece here. Don't need that. And this extra piece here. We're gonna go ahead and do a top stitch here, and then we're gonna touch to the other side of the zipper. So we're gonna get your other two pieces that we have here. These are 6 by 5.5, so they should be the same size as this part here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and after you did the top stitch here, we're gonna go here and right sides together. We're gonna put that there, and then we're gonna get our lining, right sides together to the lining, and we're gonna go ahead and put these together again, sandwich it, and we're gonna go ahead and sew it from one end to the other. Okay, attach the other side of the zipper. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and attached the other side, and I already also top stitched that side there. So I have something like a, if we were gonna make a makeup bag, this is what it would end up like. So I end up with something like that. All right, so what I want you to do now is we're gonna go ahead and I make sure everything is even. A little bit here is slightly off, so I'm just gonna trim a tiny little bit of that. Check this side. Okay, it's pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and do a seam here and a seam here just to secure these fabrics together so they don't move on us. And then we're ready to attach our grommet. This grommet here, and then attach the bag to this bag to here. So I'm gonna go ahead just sew these sides here. I'm just gonna sew the sides. I'm gonna leave the bottoms open because we're gonna need the bottoms to put the magnetic snap and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and just secure. It's just a seam just to secure these together. Okay, gonna go ahead and do that. So I secure my sides. Now I need to find the middle again. And I'm going to go about 1 inch down from here. And I'm going to put a dot here. Okay? And I'm going to get my grommet. You can use any type of grommet. This one that I'm using here is one of the snap-ons. But you can use a different kind. There's so many out there. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it a circle here. The size there that I need to cut. I'm gonna get seam ripper and I'm gonna go from here to just a circle, and we don't want to make a hole too big, so I suggest go slowly because we gotta cut all these layers to fit the grommet. So take your time. There are tools that made for you to cut these circles. I'm using the scissors. So these, they go like that and like that. Let me see if I made the hole big enough to fit. I think I need to trim a little bit more. So just slowly. I'm going to trim a little bit more. Don't cut too much at once because you want to make sure you don't cut too much. Just have to stretch a little bit the fabric. Gonna put it like that. I need a hammer or a mallet. I'm gonna get some batting. Just give me 1 second and I show you how to put this on. So you have your, it's a male and female. One is taller, one is smaller, and then those goes on top of each other. You're gonna put this down here, top of batting, and you're gonna bring more batting down here, and you're gonna get a mallet, and you're gonna hammer it. I'm gonna do this off camera because it's going to shake too much the table. Alright, you just keep going at it until it's in. Okay, and mine is in. So now I need to attach the magnetic snap. So I'm going to go about a ½ inch down from here from the middle. And because I already know my middle is here by the other side, I'm just going to go a little bit above. About here closer to the zipper, I would say about 1 inch from here down, and that's my middle, and I need to put it only on this side. So I have my magnetic snap. I'm already going to put one side, just in case you never made one of these. You're going to go ahead with this little piece here. You're going to mark it from that middle, that little dot in the middle, mark and mark. Okay, seam ripper only this layer here. Okay, one of these. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of fusible fleece to put on the back just to make it stronger. Okay, made 2 little holes. I'm gonna go here, and where these little things are, I'm gonna put the fusible fleece like that. I'm gonna get the other one. And either bend these out or in. Most of the time I like bending them in, bending them out, but sometimes these are very small, could be kind of difficult. Now after you've done that, if you want to cut a little bit this around, this fusible, we can trim a little bit around. We don't need all this bulk. Okay, and that's done, just like that. So now I know that part here is not against my fabric, so it's a little bit more secure. So it's there. After this is done, I'm going to get my front piece of my bag. I'm going to get my pocket, and instead of doing it like this, alright, instead of doing this like this, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring my zipper all the way to the top like this. I'm going to lay this down here, even with the bottom, like that. So I want my zipper to be folded like that. Right? Measure, make sure you have the same distance in both sides. Okay, and then you're gonna go ahead and secure this to this piece here, like this and like that. Okay, then I'm gonna show you how to add our other piece of magnetic snap, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this because I can definitely see from the other side afterwards where it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and join these first. If it makes it easier for you, you can definitely go ahead, put these together like this, secure them all together first, then attach it to here, because then this part here will stay a little bit more even. So I secured the sides. Now as you see, we have a magnetic snap back here, so we need to add the other piece to the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and see where it ends up right here. I prefer to have it secured in place because at least I can feel it and I know exactly where it is that I need to make the holes. See, it's right here. But you don't have to do these. You can always do magnetic snaps. You can do those plastic or a little piece of Velcro. You can definitely do that. You definitely don't have to do this. There's other options. This one I already have Fusible Fleece, so I don't have to worry as much. Okay, and there. I'm gonna go ahead and add my handmade tag because it will be harder to do it after, because these have, so I'm gonna go about one inch and a half down. I'm gonna do a little line here. I'm gonna find my middle. Okay, this is my middle. These are the same. Need to find out more or less the middle, so I know where to put it. There we go. Same thing. Make a little hole. Okay, and that's done. Okay, so we have this part done. We're gonna grab this one here that we have here. We're gonna go ahead and attach this here about, let's say about an inch from the top. You're gonna grab your other bag. You're gonna go ahead and put right sides together and join these here. Okay, you're gonna do a seam here, just this side here. So I join these, have like that, and we can go ahead and trim this. I forgot in the list of materials to tell you that you're going to need a piece of lining for the outside piece. I completely forgot about to tell you to add that to your piece of lining. So the piece that I have here is 11.5, because it has to accommodate this big piece here. Okay, so I have 11.5 by 8. Okay, so 11.5 by 8, that's a big piece to accommodate this part here. Okay, so this part is done. So now what I need is the zipper. So I'm gonna get my zipper tape that I have here, remember that we had here, and we're gonna go ahead and leave a little bit extra for each side like this, and we're gonna put right sides of the zipper down on here, and we're gonna go ahead and sew this there. And then we're going to grab our lining and put it on top, right sides together also. We're going to go ahead and sew that on, just like that. I went ahead and joined this here to the zipper, turned it to the right side, and did a top stitch here. So we end up with a piece like this. And don't worry, this is slightly smaller because lining should always be slightly smaller. Alright, because so it doesn't end up so much in the bottom. You'll see. It will work out no problem. So now what I want you to do is you're going to go ahead and find the middle here. Fold this exactly to the middle because this is your seam here. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of pins. So don't worry about the lining, I'm just trying to worry about my outside piece. So I want to bring that to there. Make sure that's even. Okay, like that. I see it's even. Now I need to put my zipper pull. Okay. So these are even here. I'm gonna go ahead, trim a little piece here of the teeth because I find it easier to put it in. I'm gonna grab my zipper pull. I think I've done this in several videos. Round part to the front, first side in, second side in an angle, even it out and pull. Okay? And this is there. Right, then we can take all these pins off. So this is something like this now. So what I want you to do is, now we're going to turn this all to this side. Separate our lining from that part there. This is why I said for you not to worry about the lining, because the lining will work itself out. I need you to match this fold here. See where the zipper is? So what I want is this part that I sewed here with that part there to be even. So I want to make sure I match them properly. I'm going to go ahead and put a pin. Okay. Pin this part. Okay, like that. So what I want you to do is we're going to start sewing somewhere here, right about here. Okay, we're going to go down, and the seam allowance is about 1/2 inch that I use here, down, all the way down across to here. And then we're going to leave an opening here on the side. You're going to start here, go down and across all the way to here. This side here, there's no seam, we don't need to sew anything. Okay, I'm going to do that. So I sewed mine, and you see I sewed this in black because I wanted to show you something. I want to show you that when I sew this, I always sew out, because when I turn this already stays folded. It stays folded already like that when I turn it to the right side. So it's a lot easier to close the end. Okay, so we're pretty much done. All I have to do is trim this, and we can trim this zipper. We're gonna turn it to the right side. Gonna need to open this zipper here in order to turn it to the right side. Okay. Of course, we're gonna close this opening. And we're gonna turn this in after it's closed. And her little bag is done. Just fix everything up. Make sure you fix all these up. Like that. Fix them all up. And it's all done. Just when you add this zipper, just pay attention to the direction. As you see, this one I put the opening to this side, this one I put it to this side. But it's optional, you can do whatever you want. Depend what you want, if you want it. And this one, as you see, I did a slightly taller, about a half an inch taller, because I wanted to fit my cell. One of my cells that I have is slightly bigger, and I can put it in there. But the bag is done. So I hope you enjoyed this project. We'll see you next time with another tutorial. Happy sewing, everyone.